My name is Ethan Lehr, and I'm from Buna, Texas. I first started off in FFA my freshman year in high school, and I was nervous because, I was new in high school and I didn't know what to do, but I was like, all right, I want to get started doing stuff like, creed speaking. I want to do stuff like ag issues because I wanted to try to use my mind, and I wanted to show everybody that I was a leader and that I could do things. Here's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to write a speech today. I said, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to see what happens. Went there and I won president that day, and so that was my first really start with the FFA. Was I started off as Green Hen president. I ran for district officer and I got secretary, and then I ran for area officer, but I missed out by like 2 votes. So instead of doing that, I went and did the Texas FFA ambassadors, and that was like the coolest thing I ever did though. To me, there's 2 kinds of people in this world. There's fighters and there's quitters, and my whole life, I've always been a fighter. I had been hanging out with some of my friends one night and I had a seizure. And so that night they had sent me to the hospital, and it took me like 3 days because they had me medicated and stuff like that. And that's whenever they went and they did an MRI on me, and then that's when they found the tumor in my head and my brain. The grade 2 tumor is what they consider brain cancer. It's something that people don't want to hear, but at the same time, I just kind of look at it like I know everything's going to be fine. There's people out there that just don't make it, but there's people out there that just never give up. And that's how I am. I feel like I'm just a fighter and I never want to give up, and I never am. Right, so this is my Rawlings baseball scar right here, where they cut into my head. It was called an awake cranium. And so what they basically did was they started off, they put me to sleep under a mask, and they peeled off, the first layer of skin, then they peeled off the muscle, then they went into the skull. Cut that open, and then so they woke me up in about an hour. So I was sitting there. The first thing that they did was map my brain. And he'd say, so-and-so ran down the hill. He'd say, all right, Ethan, repeat that for me. And I'd say, so-and-so ran down the, because he'd start touching on my head and I couldn't say nothing. Yeah, he's touched my brain this whole time. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, all right, man, I don't know what to do right now because he's touching my brain. Then all you can hear is, he's got his little tool, he's like cutting and stuff. So it was like 5 hours later, just sitting in one position, just stuck. And I was like, man, I started getting tired, started getting cramps and stuff down my legs. He said, all right, he says, hey, do you want to talk to your mom and my dad? My mom and dad are in in another waiting room in there, and I was like, all right, that's cool. So he pulls out a phone, and I'm sitting there, and he says, hey, man, what's going on? My skull's open, like brain just, I don't know, I'm pretty sure there's blood like shooting out or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm sure that's how it was. I'm like, hey, mom and dad, I'll be out in about an hour and a half. Everything's going fine. I'll see you guys later. He put I think it was 3 or 4 screws. Then the next thing they did, they put the dissolvable stitches, which is for the muscle. Put the muscle on there. Then the next thing, they had to put some anesthesia out, like some anesthesia on my head. And then they put this right here that has my where my cut is right here. Then they stitched that back on. Waited about 10-15 minutes, and they started just unscrewing my head. That's why I got this little bump right here. They started unscrewing that. So that's what took the longest, was the just getting everything set up and stuff. Brought me back in there, and that was it. My hair's already starting to grow back from after having the surgery, so it shouldn't take too long to come back. After Thanksgiving, I'm starting a 30-day treatment of radiation and a chemo pill. So it's going to start in December, and I'm going to go through, from December for 6 weeks. And I'm going to have to go, Monday through Friday. I'm going to be off Saturday and Sunday, because that's how you, those 2 days is what makes you, get better, those 2 days. So it takes people to look at you and just say, hey, you know what, we're praying for you, and we know that you're going to be fine. We know everything's going to work out good for you. And that's just the best feeling, is just knowing that you have people that believe in you. And that's what it takes, is you have to encourage other people to believe in you too. Texas FFA is the greatest organization that your high school offers. I just want to thank everybody out there that's praying for me, and everybody that's loving me, you know what I'm saying? And it just feels good to know that you got people that care about you.